Going green. Somebody slept on the inside because the outside lane just slingshot it past us.
I just lagged right off the start.
Underway, the 7 of Cream out in front here in the number Brant, in the number 7 Brant Camaro. Gets a shot from the 8. We got Chuck Chase going around as well as the 9 of Connor. No caution. Here comes Duncan to the bottom of the track. Trying to get the lead. He does it. Mickey Chunkin doing it great here at Texas. Lap 1. Nook up to second. Chris in third. Into the wall goes Duncan. Here comes Nook. Chris to the bottom of the track. The 34 machine's going to get the point.
Doing.
The 8 of Nook sideways on the front stretch and into Fenty, the caution out. It's getting frustrating to me right now because I'm having more freezing lag.
Now I'm going to go back to the BRL on FF2 stream and see what happened here. They were 4 wide. They went 4 wide to 45, put it 4 wide on the bottom, got into the 20 of Zach. That put him up the track into Diddy Nook and Bella. Fenty gets collected, just trying to drive through on the bottom. I think really just Nook had nowhere to go, so that's going to bring out the first
Gassy caution of the day. 21 car Duncan, 34 car Chris. Underway yet again at Texas. Here comes Zach, the Dover winner, trying to get a double up right here. He scored his first career win at Dover, trying to double up and assert himself to a higher degree, riding the momentum up to the second position, and he wants P1. Chris, please. Still sideways, saves it 4 wide through 3 and 4. Look at Duncan and Zach still having a shootout up there for the point, but Zach City of chunking that big shot into the wall goes 21 car. Around goes back. I know that this is enticing to you to have a shoot out.
The 20 of Zach still out in front, but Nook putting it up on the outside, seeing what he's got for that number 20 machine. And if they aren't careful, that 7 of Bella will be right there, and it'll be sizing them up for the point. We saw her dominate at Texas earlier in the season. It could definitely happen again. Nook's still on the outside, keeping it strong, and he'll actually push around to take the lead here in number 8. Here comes Zach, big drive on the bottom, trying to keep his nose under. He will not be successful. Nook will stay clear in number 8. Duncan back there in third watching this thing. He's got a great seat, maybe even a bucket of popcorn knowing his size. Here comes Zach again to the bottom. He is holding on there. Just can't quite get back beside him. Yet again, if anyone's never watched BRL or anything like that, Duncan is not fat. And this is a joke made in a lighthearted mood. This is not This is not a criticism of Duncan's size. Duncan is a very healthy boy. Actually, might even consider Duncan. Yeah, I was gonna say that the speed really changed here, and I want to say that I feel like they've updated this track to have more of a drafting effect than before. It's a more even track. I feel like it's harder to pull away here, and you can see behind them, Duncan and Chud Chase really haven't been able to get off of one another. Finney, Bella, Chris, up the track yet again goes Nook. Contact from the wall. Oh boy. Finney up to fourth now. Duncan's right back behind the 8 of Nook again, but I don't think Nook's going to want to be sitting back there behind Zach for too long. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zach sideways. Gives him a shot. Up the track goes the 20. Nook resumes the point. Here comes Zach riding on that bottom line. Nook has not been able to get away from Zach. He's been a little more successful with Duncan. Bella, yeah, sideways, gets passed now by Pickle Chris. Look at Zach back on the bottom of Nook, just keeping the pressure on. Nook and Zach have been successful so far from getting away from Chud Chase, Finney, and Chunkin, but now I think Nook enters too high here. I think that is going to give Zach a shot to get back on his bottom. Yeah, he will. There's contact. Zach's actually going to resume leading here at Texas, and this side-by-side race for the lead is a very exciting opportunity. Oh, Zach tries to throw the slider, completely misjudges it. Nook's going to be able to cross him over and get the lead. The 20's going to get in the fence, his momentum shot, but it's not going to be a whole big issue because the 20 car has been able to hold Nook at bay, and there it is again, just gets right back beside the 8 car. Nook wants to get away, and I think he needs to cover off the bottom if he wants to do that. I know right now I think Nook just doesn't think he can make speed on the bottom, but man, if I'm him, you gotta get down there at some point because the 20 just keeps killing you on the bottom. When you give him that lane, if you force him to look up, there's a chance that he's, maybe not as good up there and can't really do anything, but Nook just keeps the pressure on, and that's a good way to get yourself in position to win this race as he'll lead this lap. Let's see, where will Nook go? To the outside again. Zach gonna get below that first white stripe and puts it back on point for a moment, but Nook just holds his foot in it. Nook and Zach just holding their foot in it, but which one has the bigger foot right now? It looks like Zach gonna just barely lead this lap. That was almost a tie at the line. Very strong showing by Nook and Zach. Zach taking that momentum from his win at Dover and putting it to work today at Texas. Him and Nook have battled all day long. The Indy Brickyard 400 winner, Nook, would maybe his most impressive win in the history of his BRL career. And if we look down the running order, if you look at the running order for just a moment, you'll realize we've been talking this whole season about winners. Everybody in this field, except for the very last car, has won a race this season. Wow, there's more contact from Nook. Up the track goes the 20. Into the wall almost. He had to get out of the gas. There goes Bella through Duncan. That was a great pass, but it's not a complete pass yet. Duncan Chase and especially looks like Benny's going to be very adamant about keeping themselves very close. Right now, it's just not happening, though. Zach Nook still on point. They've got a 2-second lead over Bella. Brunswick, you talked about earlier, Bella didn't look all that fast. Is that number 7 machine coming to life as this run proceeds? Run starting to heat up. Bella up now to 3rd and beginning to make some leeway or make some headway on those 2 leaders. It was about 2/10 shaved off from the 20 of Zach that last go around by the 7. Zach, right now, Zach knows he's got to go or go home. Oh, but caution is out. We're hearing now that Chase and that number 15 car will be done here at Texas. All right. The race lead is still the 20 of Zach. He won at Dover, but nothing's safe in BRL. This has been in all the seasons of Brunswick Racing League that I've been here for, that I've raced in, that I've been fortunate enough to be in the booth for and all that stuff, this has been one of the wildest ones. As we head down the next aspect to see a strategy, we'll throw it down to Brunswick to see what's going on pit road.
I think it's speeding on pit road. Is that his cost?
I don't think that's Bella. I think that's the 34 of Chris, Brunswick.
That is a 34 Chris. You're right, mister. Is that choosing that first stall here? Let's see where they're gonna race out. I think that's Duncan leading.
Echo, really Echo.
That and the 45 is to the back. Okay, 40.
The 45 machine being told by Brunswick, his race, or her race, we learned this last race at Texas, not to assume anyone's gender.
Oh, why did I get parked?
That race,
Bro, I was
Over.
trying to respawn because I don't know what happened. I literally just jumped out of my car, so I was trying to go to the back. Yeah, but bro, chill out. Bro, and now I can't even join. Bro, I literally pitted and I was coming out and I think I accidentally clicked jump or something. I wasn't trying to like BS it, bro. I was genuinely trying to just get out of the way. Add me back, I guess, so I can race.
the 7, Bella, gonna get that front row
I'll just go to the
from
back.
place.
All right, thank you.
Restart time here at Texas with the iRacing restart zone. We are back, of course, underway. The 9 of Connor with a good restart. He's on the bottom of Zach. That 7 car picked the outside. It's deja vu from the first race here. 4 wide down the back. Here comes Vinny. 3 wide for the lead heading into 3. Into the fence. Huge hit for Vinny. What a wreck for Finty into the Texans.
Vinny and Nook got together going into 3. Went upside down, and that car went directly pointed at the
Did we
safer
start?
barrier.
Did we start?
That was a
Well, yeah, I said that. I said that in the general. I said I was gonna be.
and Finney with that driver's side impact on his lid to the safer barrier. That is a. If this was a real NASCAR race, that would have been a terrifying wreck to watch. On his lid to the safer barrier, that
Huge hit for Vinny. 3 wide
Nook upside down in a violent crash here
for the lead.
at Texas.
From the first race here. 4 wide down the back. Here comes Vinny. 3 wide for the lead heading into 3. Into the fence. Huge hit for Vinny.
Fight that. And for the first time in history, Nook was not flipping here at Texas. If you give Nook too much enticement on these flipping things, you might. You just don't, if I'm y'all, I'm really trying to either A, don't give Bell the front row. Underway. Down to 1, Nook your leader. Bell back upper. I can't see what's going on. 4 wide behind. Almost 5 wide. 5 wide on the last lap. Oh, there goes Pumpkin and Penny. They're gone. The 45 machine is up to second. The 45 machine of I don't even know who is leading. Yeah, I don't know who, Connor. The 45 of Christian has just taken the lead and is trying to win for the first time in his BRL career, which is very short, as this is his debut. Here comes Nook. Contact with Connor. The 9 of Connor. Through. Outside. He took Nook's lane from him. Almost into the wall goes that 9 car. He had to get way out of the gas. A lot of contact down there in turns 1 and 2. That 45 Christian putting the pressure. Finney now as well has carved his way up to P3 as Connor sliding back to 4th. Oh, the 45 missed the corner, got in the wall, but it didn't really hurt him. As a matter of fact, it may have helped him. Nook goes that low block. Nook, oh, yeah, just the cut. He's a huge crash. That wreck right there reminded me of the one he had in 2025 at Texas, where Mike Joy said, Kyle Busch is having a great run and is looking to get back to victory lane. The next moment, he's flipping. Hey, look, no. Connor, you should be P3. Oh, wait, no, you got in the wreck, so no, you wouldn't be. Nook, you should pay. Eddie Nook goes flying at Texas, and it's our second flip of the race. All right, Brunswick, progressive hit road.
Okay, so Zach is gonna choose the first car once again. He knows about that first car. And here's the 45 racing off pit road. He will get P1 followed by Connor P2, Chris P3, Zach P4. I think T.
Yeah.
I'm frozen.
All right, I'm back. What lap are we on? Duncan on point. Here comes Zach and Nook, the two guys from earlier in the race who were dominating early. Duncan in the number 21 Clover Ford trying to hold on to the second spot, but much more trying to potentially get on the offense, go to the inside, take that lead from Zach. This is going to go to the bottom right here. So too is Zach. And that's the big thing, is using the bottom as a weapon of defense. Don't use it as... The bottom is a weapon of defense for you, because when you let someone on your own inside, that's the way that you're going to let... Oh! Get into the fence! Here comes Nook! Nook to the lead. He'll get the point. Zach to the bottom. Duncan's there. Gets pushed into the line. That'll mess both of their corners up. The tension's flaring between Duncan and Zach. Will there be contact in 1 and 2? Yes, there is. Big shot from Duncan to Zach. Into the wall. Zach gets destroyed by Duncan heading through 1 and 2. The 20 car now in second, in third, he's got a shot to return the favor if he believes that's what's appropriate. That 8 car, Nook, has been able to reach out, get a 1.2 second lead. Bella on this long run has started to revive and is now back up to the 3rd position. Into the wall goes the 20, into the wall to the 21. Bella runs into Zach. They both spin. Zach and Bella around. They'll get it back together, but they have fallen collectively back to, what is that, 6th and 7th? Zach and Bella come together down the back straightaway. That is exactly right, bro. So the cut line drivers getting together, going sideways. I don't know about that. That 8 car Nook, remember, he stayed out, so he's going to have to pit very soon. I can't exactly say what lap. I know probably within the span of laps he's going to pit, but I'm going to not disclose that. But remember that Nook stayed out. He wanted track position, and track position he's built up a 3-second lead back to 21 of Duncan. And what I will say, my comment on the incident between the 7 and the 20 is, yes, it is true that Zach is in the wall. That's his fault. But the 7 also could have lifted to get out of that position. So I honestly just think you call that a racing incident and don't penalize either way. The 8 car Nook into pit road. Will that be a great strategy? I'm not sure. I honestly don't like having to pit that much earlier than everyone else. You know, put yourself in a bad spot where maybe you have to make a stop that they don't. Here's Connor, your leader now, and where did he come from? Into the wall he goes. Here comes Duncan, but where did he come from? The guy was nowhere to be seen earlier in the run, and now on point with Duncan to his inside. The comeback kid doing comeback things here at Texas. The number 9 A-Shock paint scheme, arguably the best paint scheme that Connor's run this season. Contact with Duncan in that Clover Ford. All right, it's time to crank it up. Let's see what, let's see some cranked up action.
Calm down, bro.
All right, I'm gonna Brunswick. I'm gonna cut the that crank it up segment, as now there's a lot to talk about. You see Nook. Oh God, Nook and the leaders, they get together. And what I will say, turn around, the 20 of Zach is right back up to that third position. He has had to drive the wheels off. Oh, he into the ball. He's not third anymore. Into the grass. Trying to save it. Yes, he does. The 9 still there, trying to get to Bella and get around her. That 7 coming to life, and we said it earlier. We said that the 7 looked like she came to life, especially over the course of a long run. The 7's got a long run in his backup point at Texas. Seven and Connor matching lines. 7 managing the 7 managing the gap better than anyone has all night. That 9 car up the track. Bella is able to pull away through turn 3, and yeah, Connor does not get closer. Bella is pulling away. Connor just made the remark that Bella wasn't fast, but he can't catch her, so I don't want to hear it. Into the wall yet again goes Connor. Struggling as this run goes on is that number 9 Ace Shock Machine. As now Finney and Duncan will be on his bumper and may be able to get past him. The 11 down to the bottom. The 9 still able to hold his position. Bella's gotten away, and who doesn't like that is that 20 car. Zach needs to get by the 21, the 9, and the 11. He is in a position right now, if he doesn't get up by these guys, he has a very good chance of missing this season's chase. Or I should say, for out of respect for Connor, this season's William Clyde. Connor, why are you mad at me? I was actually. The 21 and the 20 get together. Connor is in it and backwards. When the caution comes out, the position for Connor is P3. Connor, I have a question. Why did you get mad when I corrected myself? The 21 of Duncan just comes down on Zach. Doesn't give. Wait, no, I see what Duncan's talking about. I can't really tell. They ran one another out of room for sure. There's no doubt about that. I'm just not sure if Zach came up or if the 21 came down. That's not an easy thing to spot. I mean, it really looks like Duncan starts trying to turn into the corner and gets turned, but I have a bad view of it, so I can't really tell. But the critique I'll give of that is no one can. In my humble opinion, the 20 and the 21 I don't think either one can complain about that incident because the 20 could have definitely not been there, and the 21 could have gone up the track to give him space. There was, two lanes up on top of the 21 that he could have moved up to give Zach the lane. So when an incident like that happens, you call it a racing incident and you move on because neither one of them wanted to give up the space. And when you don't give up the space, Christian, Connor, and Duncan to the bat for pit road related penalties. But yeah, the last piece of commentary I'll give on the incident between Zach and Duncan is whether or not one of them was more at fault than the other. You can't really fault either one because both were being too aggressive in that situation. Because, like I said, the nose is there. Duncan can move up and give him more space, and Zach could also not put his nose where there's not much room. Duncan, like I said, I don't care if he intentionally hooked you. Yet again, he intentionally hooked you. I still think it's basically a racing incident because there was no space. Oh, it pisses me off this guy's sending stuff with Meadow because now he's on. There was contact, and yeah, Zach definitely moves up quite a bit to get into Duncan, but like I said, there's back underway here at Texas, the 11 and the 7 racing into turn 1. Bella up the track some, gets into Finney. Finney may have to back out. Yes, Finney does back out. A shove from Zach. Christian's around in front of Duncan. Here comes Finney up the inside. Contact with Bella and Finney. Finney to the bottom of the track, and Finney will go to the lead. Connor is around. Finney to the lead. Here comes Nook. Here comes Zach. Zach loves what he's seeing because if Finney's still there, and the 7 goes Zach. Finney. There was a push from Nook, and now the 7's in the fence. Running out of time. Running out of opportunities. That is what these guys are slowly realizing, and that is why this aggression has turned up so much on this restart. The 20 is in a chase position battle with the 7 right now, and the problem with that, there's contact with Duncan. Bella turns down an attempted right hook on Duncan. Attempted right rear hook on the 21 from Bella, and Bella is right back up to Duncan. There's contact. Zach tries to block the 7. Here comes Bella, and Connor's around. The 21 on the outside trying to hold Bella at bay. Bella is not happy with Duncan. There's going to be contact from that 20 car to the 7. They're up the track 3 wide. Into the wall goes almost. Still 3 wide. The 20 and the 7 are in a chase position shootout. Duncan trying to win this race. And Duncan is, to this point, I believe, winless on the Cup Series season. Oh, that's right. You won early. Zach knows that Bella is the faster car. He is going to keep the pressure there where he can do it. The 45 comes into the racing line. Here comes Duncan, still 3 wide for that 3rd position. Contact from Duncan. That'll send Bella into the fence. Duncan's going to send them both up the track. There's that 20 right back behind him again. There'll probably be more contact.
Here comes this 20 to the inside of Duncan. More contact. They are all over one another for this third position, and now Finney will get dragged into it. It's a battle for second now here at Texas. What a wild race we're being. Oh, Finney! Duncan chopping into one another, and they're into the wall. Connor gets collected. It's no caution for now. That 20 car is going to have Bella right behind. I think Finney chopped the nose on Duncan. Now it's a caution. And as Nuke was extending his lead up to a second and a half, the caution comes out. There was and a significant degree of frustration now envelops these drivers as the race gets down to the closing laps. Under caution, we'll take 23 laps to go. Choose at the cone. And I'm wondering if you guys can make it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't think they can. And even if these drivers can make it, I want to say that I don't feel confident in making it. They just pitted the last caution, 5 or so laps ago, and already used about 800. Yeah, they've already used a boatload of fuel. I think, if you don't pit now, there's a good shot that you're going to be in a bad spot. The 7 car, there's contact heading to pit road. Bella, that, Duncan. Chris into pit road. Duncan, you did have the light on. Connor will win the race off pit road, and another disastrous caution for Bella as she'll fall back to 4th. That's a big choice there. It's a big choice there by Connor. Goes to the bottom, and look at Bella. Chooses the bottom as well. Going to go back to the 3rd row. They're going to give Chris up to the 2nd row with this caution. And that is the kind of break that 34 machine needs right now. He needs to be able to get some track position. We know that Chris can drive. He's not a racing line, make speed kind of guy. He's the guy that makes it work when it needs to work. And now he'll have a shot to do that here on the restart. Great restart by that outside. Chris and Nook able to hold position. That'll push Bella. Jumps in the wall, sideways. Sliding into Chris and into the inside wall they both go. Caution is out. And that and Chris get to Nook, sends him sideways, and they both go into the inside wall. And Christian has now left the Discord server. We will not be seeing him in future races. Choose this time is the call. And let's say it right now. Bella is in position to get onto the front row here, or in the 2nd row with a chance to be right behind the control car, Connor.
That's a dangerous position for these drivers. They've got to choose strategically to put Bella in the worst position to win this race because they know the 7's the best car. It's about being the best driver to counteract that. Bella will go to the outside. Last restart, we saw a very good restart by the outside, but generally speaking, the outside has struggled on these restarts, and Bella has got caught up in a lot of outside restarts that's put her at the back. Into the iRacing restart zone. Very even start by the 2 lanes. Underway we go. Good shove by the bottom lane. Duncan gave a great shot to Connor. They went when they needed to go, and that is exactly what Bella didn't want to see because now Nook's on her inside, Zach's on her inside. I mean, 6 cars under a blanket, 7 cars under a blanket. Connor chops a block. Almost 5 wide. Texas, it was 5 wide for just a brief moment. Nook slide and his baby oil. He'll get it saved. No, he won't. He's wrecking. Into Connor. And Nook got the commentator's curse. All right, Brunswick, give me a 1 out of 3. Give me a 1 out of 3 for cursing the 8 car. Brunswick, I need a 1 out of 3. I did a bad thing. Contact between Finney and Connor under caution. You heard Connor say it. He was not going to take what was going on in the restart, and now Chris got to get back on the front row. He'll have help from Bella. If I'm Chris, I know I gotta go, but I also don't want to. I don't want to make any mistakes and leave the middle lane open. The 7 is in a position she might need to open that middle lane up, and right now would be the best time to do it with 15 laps to go. Here comes the 21 car down to the inside. There comes Bella. Bella has opened up the bottom lane. Through on the inside goes the 7. But the 11 still leads. Duncan slides down the track into the 7. He'll get clear of the 7 by a miracle. Contact in the back. The 21 car leading from the 7 to the 21 up the track. Where will Chris go? Not to the bumper, the 7. 21's going to slide down, shot up the track to the 7. Duncan to the inside. Opens up that inside lane. That's fair game. The 7 used the nose. Duncan did as well. That's how they race here. Big shot from Chris. Huge shot from Chris up the track. 4 wide from the lead. They went 4 wide off of turn 4. You see Zach make a big shot at it, but I don't honestly blame Zach for anything there. You know, he was on the inside of Nook already, and they just happened to be 2 more cars that were on the outside that were in the wall. That's not Zach's fault, in my opinion. You can't put that on Zach unless you're gonna put this incident with Bella earlier in the race with Zach also on Bella. It's one of the incidents where they shouldn't have been 4 wide, but Nook and Zach both were being aggressive, and the 2 cars on the outside both got significantly slowed up. I think honestly the 20 car just not happy with anybody around him, and that caused a huge crash. Well, first off, he hasn't had a bad day. He's probably been the 2nd fastest car in the race, only trumped by the 7.
Nook made a 3-wide move on Bella through the restart. 11 laps to go. It's go time for these boys. Chris and Finney getting together for the point. Into the wall. Chris wrecked. So does Connor and Zach. Caution. Yeah, absolutely not. No, that's bogus. That absolutely not. You're not pinning Connor shoving this guy through the corner on Zach. That absolutely not. I'm not taking that. The 100% truth. If you're mad at Zach for that incident, then you're just sitting here listening to Connor say he did it again and believing it. No, he was not. That's all the 9 car there. Connor, I've watched it 5 times. Not only did you give him a shot through the exit of the corner, but you went to his inside and made it 4 wide. Into the restart zone again, and 4 cars pick the outside. Big shot from Nook to Duncan. Duncan up the track, trying to get back to the white flag, and right now, that's going to be a big ask of these guys. They've got to go 7 laps with no major incidents, and Zach's going to give another shot to the 7. Zach is in a playoff battle with the 7 of Bella. He knows what's at stake. There is no reason to be conservative with the 7 car around. Into the 7, up the track, and into the wall goes Bella. Here comes Zach up to 3rd now. Going to go to the outside with Finney. 3 wide for the lead heading into 3. Nook lifted. Duncan almost got clear of Nook, but could not do it. Look at Zach putting a 3 wide middle, and he'll get up to 2nd. The 20 car. He sends Duncan. Duncan's into the wall. I want to see that. He opened it up just slightly, but I'm not going to give Zach any benefit of the doubt on that one. Duncan left a lane open, but that's about all you can give the credit for that for, is that Zach just drove it in there too deep. The 20 car and the 7 up the track. In the lead. Here comes Bella. Will there be contact? There is. Up the track they both go. Zach's going to have it opened up on the bottom. Here comes the 20 of Zach. Up to 2nd. Nook blocks him. It's a car length now. Back to the 3rd place car, Bella. Fly job by Zach. Up the track goes Zach. Nook on the bottom. Zach is leading. Bella's going to go to the outside. Oh, he turns down into Nook. Nook is sideways. Nook stays in. Going to take the lead. Unbelievable. The 20 is trying everything he can, but the 8 of Nook has held his ground. And that might give Nook just enough of a gap to win this race. Back to 2 to go. Will there be a caution? Around goes Finney. Here comes Zach to the bottom. There's contact with Nook. 2 to go when they get to the line. It's an all-star shootout at Texas. The 20 has not been afraid to use his car as a weapon. The 8, not afraid to give it back. To the inside he goes. They've got to go half a lap, and this thing will be in the book. Here comes the 20 back to the bottom. Here comes the 20. To the inside comes the 20. White flag in the air. It's half a car length the advantage. Nook. Everything's bigger in Texas, including this win. The 20 with no relenting to the 8. He wants this win, and he's going to drive up a nose out ahead. Nook grabs the fence. It's half a lap back to the start-finish line. The 8 backs out to Sin. Will he be able to? He's there. Here comes Bella. 3 wide on the 4. The 20, the 8, the 7. 3 abreast. Photo finish. Bella gets a win here in Texas. It was a 3 abreast photo finish here in Texas.
Good game, Nook, bro. I don't. Oh, bro.
Unbelievable last lap scenes. 3 abreast at the line. Photo finish between
bruh.
7 and the 8.
Oh my god, dude. I was right there.
If it was much closer, we were going to have to get out the microscopes. Wow. The 7. It's a Texas sweep. And it was Texas style finish. Everything got bigger on that last lap, and the 7 made it work somehow. Oh my god.
Bro, that literally oh my god. The one thing I didn't need happens. I was right there. I could have stopped that.
Bro, that finish was so good. I think I need to show the Cobra. There was only one commentator, but yeah, I was losing it. I had to catch my breath through turn 3, and that was the only place I could. I was losing my mind. Look at this at the line.
Who said that? Who said that? Buddy, hold on. Whoever is a 21, if you sitting here talking, I don't want to hear it. You full send me into the wall, and I got my get back, and then you full send me, Fancy, Bell, and everybody else. It's not Rex for a reason. Freaking idiot, bro.
Like,
Think he caused 7 out of the 10 cautions? Yeah, because I have to make moves because I'm getting held up by people like you idiot.